It's almost Halloween, and by far one of my favorite ways to spend this time of year is watching scary movies. And it is what I have been doing. I've spent this month rewatching some of my favorite horror movies like the original Halloween and the original Scream. And that's where I got the idea for this video. I don't think I need to explain what a licensed game is, so I'm not going to, but I did remember there is a ton of licensed horror movie games. So in this video, we're going to talk about them. Also, side note, we're mainly going to be talking about the older ones because I have yet to play most of the newer ones. Also, a lot of the games we're going to be talking about in this video have already been covered to death by a lot of other channels, which, yes, I am aware of, but I still want to talk about them anyway because I personally find them very interesting. By far, the best place to start with this video is talking about Halloween for the Atari 2600. The game has you take control of this girl, who I assume is supposed to be Laurie Strode from the movies. The main goal of the game is to save all the kids from being murdered by Michael Myers by leading them into one of the two safe rooms on either end of this long house. But while you're trying to do this, you'll be constantly ambushed and attacked by Michael Myers himself. And one thing I absolutely love about this game is the fact that every single time Michael appears on screen, a little retro rendition of the Halloween theme plays. Which sure can get a little bit annoying after a few minutes of playing, but I personally always found it charming. While walking around the house, you can also occasionally find this little thing that you use as a weapon. I have no idea what it's supposed to be, but hey, it still is effective against Michael Myers. Every time you use it against him, it makes him run off the screen. While Michael Myers does appear very often, he is extremely easy to avoid, even without the weapon. You can literally just juke him out so easily. The only times you'll really ever die to Michael Myers is if you fail to juke him out, or if he appears right in front of a doorway as you're trying to walk into it. Michael Myers is pretty hellbent on killing you in this game, but one thing he is more hellbent on than anything else I've ever seen Michael Myers hellbent on is killing children. Michael Myers, in this game at the very least, despises children. If you're in a room with a child and Michael Myers appears, without fail, he will immediately target the kid. All this version of Michael Myers wants to do is kill children. You can even see in the footage right now, Michael Myers is moving down to attack a child before he gets me. Michael, what did that kid do to you? What is his problem with children? He despises them so much, and honestly, it is so funny how much he despises children. It is like his personal mission to slaughter any child he sees in this game. Seeing a child to Michael Myers is like seeing a red little blanket thingy to a bull. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about this game. Hey everybody, Editing Caleb here. This is being recorded after I pretty much got done with most of the video. As you probably heard, the audio quality randomly got better on my mic during the video. Like, as you can probably hear right now, hopefully the audio quality has still been improved. I didn't do anything. I don't know what happened. But basically, it got better midway through the recording, and it would have taken me forever to like fix it because I would have to realign all the editing and all that BS. And also, I'm just way too lazy to fix it, so sorry about that. So while the game isn't great, it's still a fun way to kill a few minutes. And I'm sure any Halloween fan, such as myself, would get a good kick out of it. So overall, I give it the score of 7 pumpkins out of 10. We got another game for the Atari 2600 with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I don't know if this is exactly right, so take this with a grain of salt, but from what I've heard from a lot of different sources, this is one of the first ever games to be based off a horror movie. Unlike Halloween for the Atari 2600, this time around you actually get to be the killer. You play as Leatherface from the movies, and your only goal in this game is to run around and kill random girls while avoiding things like wheelchairs, skulls, fences, and what appears to be hay. If you do run into one of those said objects, you lose some of your fuel, and if you lose all of your fuel, it's game over. And by that, I mean you lose one of your lives. And once you run out of all of your lives, the screen goes black, and you're the only character on screen, and then some random girl walks up to you and kicks you off the screen. And then you have to do all of it all over again. While you're playing the game, if you catch up to one of the girls and try to kill them, they'll do this weird thing where they teleport to the other side of you and you have to turn around and try to hit them again. But usually they'll teleport again, and you have to repeat this over and over again until they finally die. It's one of the many annoying things about this game, alongside the constant speed of your character and the god-awful sound design. Okay, yes, I'm aware the original Atari didn't have the best sound capabilities, but this game is genuinely ear-grating to listen to. Just like a lot of my YouTube videos, yes, I know the audio quality with my mic and stuff is pretty bad, but I'm working on fixing it. But hey, at least in my videos I don't include a random high-pitched beep, which, by the way, from what I've heard, it's supposed to be screaming, which... Sure, I guess I can kinda hear it, but it's still a very annoying sound to listen to. Overall, this game is just not very good. Sure, there are worse games on the Atari, such as E.T., but this game is just... It's not horrible, but it's not amazing. So, I would give it about, like, 4 pumpkins out of 10. If you're looking for a fun game to play during the spooky season based off a horror film, you're better off skipping this one. Friday the 13th on the NES. By far the most infamous game on this list, and the game that made me want to do this video in the first place. Now, most people who've played this game think of it as a frustrating, clunky, confusing, terrible mess of a game. And yeah, it kind of is. Weirdly enough, I really enjoy Friday the 13th for the NES. To be clear, it is not a good game. It is very poorly designed and made, but something about it is just so enjoyable to me that I almost never have a negative experience with it. And that's really strange to me, because I went into this game expecting to absolutely despise it. But, as I said before, I actually ended up really liking it. There's a lot to go over with this game, and it would take me forever to talk about all of it. So instead, I'm just going to talk about what I do like about this game and what I don't like about this game. One thing I like about this game is the music. Sure, the music that plays when you're just walking around the campsite can get a little bit annoying, but god, the cabin theme is great. I absolutely love it. I also like the little musical stinger that plays when Jason appears on screen, and the frantic music that plays behind it. Sure, a lot of people don't like it, but again, just like this game itself, I do. Another thing I really like about this game has to be the graphics. Okay, sure, it doesn't look amazing, but for NES, it's a very decent looking game. All the sprites look nice, the map is clear to read most of the time, and the backgrounds look pretty detailed. The only thing that could get a little iffy about the graphics is how much they reuse the same sprites over and over again, meaning it can be pretty hard without the map telling where you're supposed to go. Another thing I really like about this game is Jason Voorhees himself. To get it out of the way immediately, yes, it is very weird he's purple and blue in this game, but I love how he's almost constantly stalking you, and you almost constantly have to fight him off. It feels fun to fight Jason once you figure out how to control your character during the fighting segments. Also, one thing I can't go without mentioning is the game over screen for this game. Now basically the way the game works is that you have 7 counselors that you can play as. And basically, when one of them dies, you just switch to a different counselor. And once all 7 of them are dead, it's game over. And when it is game over, you see this screen. Man, I just love how blunt it is. But on the other hand, this game is annoying, cryptic, frustrating, and tedious. The game almost never explains what you're supposed to do. You're constantly overwhelmed by zombies, bats, and wolves. And you've got to constantly worry about Jason killing other counselors or killing the children. Which, by the way, if all the children die, it's also game over. You're also expected to find, like, the secret Pamela head, which I wish I had footage of, but I wasn't able to find it. And you also have to make sure you kill Jason Voorhees. And again, the game itself doesn't explain most of this. All it says is that you have to go around from cabin to cabin and light campfires, which doesn't really make sense, because what good would that do it? I wish I could have an answer for that, but again, I didn't ever get that far in this game, because most of the time, all the counselors would have been slaughtered by Jason, because he moves super fast and attacks super quick. It is still fun to fight him though. I hope one day I'll be able to beat this game, because every time I play it, I get a little bit more further into it. Maybe in the future I'll make a video about this game by itself and try to beat it in that video. Who knows? So overall, it's not a perfect game, but I personally find it very enjoyable. I give it 7 pumpkins out of 10. Now, while I really enjoyed Friday the 13th for the NES, I cannot say the same for Nightmare on Elm Street on NES. Nightmare on Elm Street is an absolute slog to play. From the very moment you start playing, you get overwhelmed by enemies and have no idea what you're supposed to do. For some weird reason, the game doesn't let you just go into any old house. You have to find one of the specific houses on the block, which usually is random every time you start the game, to go into. It is genuinely so confusing, and once you get into the house, it doesn't get much better. Your whole goal in the houses is just to run around, find the bones of Freddy Krueger, and try not to fall asleep in-game and in real life. When you do fall asleep, you get this pretty cool animation of a wavy screen, and then you transition into the nighttime mode, where all the enemies are way stronger, and I guess they're supposed to be creepier, but honestly, I don't find them that creepy. While in this mode, you'll occasionally be attacked by Freddy Krueger himself, and sure, the boss battle with him is a little difficult, but after figuring out his pattern, you should be able to get past it. And if you ever want to wake back up, all you need to do is find the boombox and jump into it. I really don't like how long it takes to transition back though, but at least that little musical stinger is a little cool. You will also need to fight Freddy again once you collect all the bones into the house and make it to the final area of the house. And these fights are annoying as hell. Freddy's arm will constantly grab around, it's super hard to hit him, and he's constantly taking damage off of you, and it's hard to tell how many hits you take before you die. I really wish I had more to say about this game, but it's just really bad, and I hate having to play it. The only thing I kinda like about the game is the music's pretty good and the graphics are really well done. But besides that, the game is just awful to play. So I give it 1 pumpkin out of 10. Now before this video ends, I want to quickly mention a lot of the more recent horror movie video games. Both the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th had their own online horror games. Jason Voorhees and Leatherface have appeared in Mortal Kombat X, and Freddy Krueger has appeared in Mortal Kombat 9. Jason Voorhees had a mobile game, and he appeared in Multiverses. Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, and Michael Myers have all appeared in Dead by Daylight, and Leatherface and Michael Myers are in Fortnite. There are cases for other horror icons that I didn't talk about in this video appearing in video games. Killer Clowns from Outer Space has their own online horror game. The Alien from Aliens has appeared in Fortnite, has their very own video game, and was also in Mortal Kombat. Ghostface was in Mortal Kombat 1. Chucky was in Dead by Daylight, And there is so many more examples of this. So in conclusion, it appears that horror movies and video games have a huge overlap. And honestly, I'm very excited for the future to see what new horror movie video games we could possibly get. But we'll just have to wait and see. So until then, have a happy Halloween everybody,